Jennifer Lopez has finally broken her silence on the growing rumors about Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner. And trust me, it's not what anyone expected. With recent photos of Ben and his ex looking a little too comfortable, fans are wondering, is there trouble in paradise for Jennifer Lopez? And Ben? Her reaction has left everyone speechless, and the tension is only growing. Are we about to witness Hollywood's next big scandal? Or is there something deeper going on? The pictures that sparked a media frenzy. It all started with one set of pictures, images that sent shockwaves through social media and had fans spiraling into endless speculation. Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner looking more comfortable than ever, sharing what appeared to be an intimate moment. Their expressions? Soft, almost affectionate. Their body language? Relaxed, easy. Like two people who have known each other forever. And let's be real, that is also true to some extent. Captured by paparazzi at what seemed to be a casual meetup or a moment of co-parenting, the pictures showed Garner and Affleck sharing smiles, deep conversation, and, at one point, a moment that had fans losing their minds. A lingering hug. A hug that didn't seem rushed or forced, but one that spoke volumes. Was it just friendly co-parenting? Or was there something more lurking beneath the surface? The images were reportedly taken in Los Angeles outside their children's school, a spot where they've been seen together before. But this time, something felt different. The way Ben leaned in when talking to Jennifer, the way she smiled at him, it didn't go unnoticed. And the internet? Well, you already know how it reacted. Twitter and Instagram were flooded with comments from fans dissecting every tiny detail. Many pointed out how Ben looked happier in these pictures than he had in months, especially compared to some of his recent appearances with Jennifer Lopez. Side-by-side comparisons started popping up, memes flooded in, and people were quick to raise questions like, why does Ben Affleck always look like he's trapped in a hostage situation with J. Lo, but completely at peace with Jennifer Garner? Well, that wasn't it, because then came the bigger round of speculations, with people asking, was this just a friendly, platonic moment between two exes? Or was there an undeniable spark still lingering between them? Some fans claimed it was nothing more than great co-parenting, a sign that despite their divorce, they still deeply respect each other. But others weren't buying it. The way Ben looked at her, the way Garner laughed at something he said, it was too comfortable and too natural. And of course, the media had a field day as well. Headlines screamed about Ben and Jen's undeniable chemistry and Jennifer Lopez's worst nightmare coming true. Gossip outlets ran with the narrative that Garner may have never really let go of Affleck, and worse, that Affleck might still see her as the one that got away. But here's where things got really interesting, because while fans and the media were busy losing their minds over these pictures, there was one person who wasn't staying silent, and that was Jennifer Lopez. Bennifer, the love story that came full circle. Well, there are only a few love stories in Hollywood that have been as messy, magnetic, and wildly unpredictable as that of Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. From their popular romance in the early 2000s that caught everybody's attention to their shocking split, and then their even more shocking reunion nearly 2 decades later, these two have truly been through it all. It all began in 2002, when J. Lo and Ben met on the set of Giggly, a movie that might have flopped at the box office, but ended up launching one of the most iconic celebrity relationships of all time. And guess what? Back then, they were unstoppable. He was Hollywood's golden boy, an Oscar-winning actor with the world at his feet, while she was J-Lo, a global superstar who had just come off a high-profile marriage and was setting the entertainment industry on fire. Together, they were Bennifer, the couple that owned the red carpets, the tabloids, and basically every pop culture conversation. And let's not forget the ring, that massive 6.1-carat radiant cut pink diamond that made headlines for weeks. The world was convinced they were about to become Hollywood royalty. But just when it seemed like they were this close to a fairy tale ending, reality came crashing down. In 2004, just days before their wedding, they called it off. The pressure of being in the public eye, the never-ending media frenzy, and their very different lifestyles ultimately tore them apart. J. Lo later admitted that the breakup was her first real heartbreak, and for years, it seemed like the chapter was permanently closed. Ben moved on with Jennifer Garner, marrying her and starting a family. J. Lo went through her own ups and downs, 2 more marriages, high-profile relationships, and a career that never stopped soaring. But the one thing that never changed, their undeniable connection. Fast forward to 2021, and the internet broke when whispers of the reunion, Bennifer 2.0, started circulating. At first, people thought it was just a friendly catch-up, but then the photos dropped. J-Lo and Ben vacationing together in Montana, cozying up on yachts, and making out like no time had passed. It was official. Bennifer was back. What followed was nothing short of a Hollywood fairy tale. J. Lo was glowing. Ben seemed happier than he had in years, and their love story got the second chance that fans had only dreamed of. Then came the wedding, which had not 1 but 2 lavish ceremonies. First, a private Las Vegas elopement in July 2022, and then a massive, star-studded celebration at Ben's Georgia estate a month later. And J. Lo? She couldn't stop gushing. In interviews, she called their reunion the best love story ever, and said she finally got her happily ever after. She even dedicated an entire album and documentary to their love, making it clear that this was it, the final chapter, the forever love. Fans were obsessed. Media outlets crowned them the ultimate Hollywood comeback couple, proof that sometimes true love really does find its way back. It seemed like a dream. But as we've now seen, dreams don't always last forever. And those recent viral pictures of Ben with his other Jennifer, well, they might have just turned J-Lo's fairy tale into something else entirely. Jennifer Garner, the one constant in Ben Affleck's life. No matter what happens in Ben Affleck's love life, there's one person who always seems to be right there, and that's Jennifer Garner. Their relationship has been called many things over the years: complicated, supportive, even unfinished. But one thing is undeniable: the bond they share has never truly faded. Ben and Jennifer's story began in the early 2000s, when they met on the sets of Pearl Harbor and Daredevil. Back then, Affleck was still in the midst of his whirlwind romance with J. Lo, and Garner was married to actor Scott Foley. But fate had other plans. By 2004, they were both single, and what started as a friendship quickly turned into something more. Unlike Affleck's highly publicized romance with J. Lo, his relationship with Garner was quieter, more grounded. In 2005, they tied the knot in a private ceremony, far from the flashing cameras. Over the years, they welcomed 3 children and built what seemed like the perfect Hollywood family. Jennifer was often described as Ben's rock, the one who kept him grounded when the pressures of fame became too much. But behind closed doors, things weren't always so perfect. As much as Affleck adored his family, he struggled deeply with his demons, particularly addiction. Over the years, his battle played out in the public eye, with paparazzi capturing heartbreaking images of him looking exhausted, defeated, and sometimes even intoxicated. Through it all, one person remained by his side: Jennifer Garner. Even after their 2018 divorce, she never truly left. One of the most emotional moments between them came in 2019, when photos surfaced of Garner driving a visibly distressed Affleck to rehab. She was seen holding his hand, offering support, and making sure he got the help he needed. This wasn't just a co-parenting moment. This was a woman who still deeply cared about the father of her children. Over the years, there were countless other examples of their unwavering bond: family vacations, birthday celebrations, and even casual coffee runs, where they looked more like best friends than exes. They defended each other in interviews, spoke highly of one another, and always made it clear that their children came first. And this is why some fans never believed they were truly over. Even when Ben got back together with J. Lo, there was always this lingering feeling that Garner was still his safe space. Some fans even pointed out how different he seemed, happier, more relaxed, whenever he was around her. Unlike his often tired, tense public appearances with Lopez, Ben was always seen smiling with Garner. Was it just great co-parenting? Or was there something more that neither of them wanted to admit? And then there's the big question. Did Ben Affleck ever fully move on? Well, if you ask some fans, the answer is no. Despite being married to Jennifer Lopez, there were constant rumors that he still had unfinished business with Garner. Whether it was subtle glances, heartfelt interviews, or those now viral pictures, the internet never stopped speculating. And now, with Jennifer Lopez reportedly feeling betrayed by the closeness between Ben and Garner, it's clear that this unbreakable bond isn't just a thing of the past. It's still very much alive, and something that might just have been strong enough that it shook the very foundation of his marriage with J.Lo. J.Lo's struggle to hold on to love. Well, Jennifer Lopez may be one of the most powerful and glamorous women in Hollywood, but when it comes to love, her track record has been far from smooth. Despite her superstar status, J.Lo has always worn her heart on her sleeve, falling hard, loving deeply, and sometimes holding on a little too tight. From Diddy to Ben Affleck to A-Rod, J.Lo has had her fair share of high-profile relationships, and, unfortunately, just as many heartbreaks. If there's one thing that stands out in her romantic history, it's that she doesn't just date. She dives in head first, often making grand gestures of love and commitment. Take her relationship with Sean Diddy Combs in the late 90s. It was fiery, intense, and came crashing down after a highly publicized nightclub incident that ended in Diddy's arrest. Then came Chris Judd, her backup dancer-turned-husband. But their marriage barely lasted a year. And of course, there was her failed engagement to Alex Rodriguez, which had everyone believing she had finally found her perfect match, until cheating rumors surfaced, leaving J.Lo devastated and their relationship in ruins. One pattern has remained constant. J.Lo is deeply emotional when it comes to love. She has always been incredibly protective of her relationships, which is why the media scrutiny surrounding her personal life has often left her feeling vulnerable. In past interviews, she has openly admitted that fame makes it difficult to trust people and that public pressure can be too much to handle. In fact, when she and Ben rekindled their romance in 2021, she confessed in multiple interviews that one of her biggest fears was the relentless media attention. She didn't want a repeat of what happened in 2004. When paparazzi and tabloids played a role in their initial breakup. J.Lo even took extreme steps to keep their relationship strong, controlling the narrative, sharing curated glimpses of their love, and making sure the world knew how much they adored each other. So imagine her reaction when those viral pictures of Ben and Jennifer Garner surfaced. For J.Lo, this situation isn't just about harmless co-parenting. It's about history repeating itself. Ben looking happier and more relaxed with another woman. The world questioning whether he truly moved on. And the internet once again dissecting her love life. She spent years fighting against the perception that she's hard to love or too intense in relationships. But these new headlines threaten to reopen old wounds. And the worst part? This time, it's not just the media speculating. It's Ben's actions that are making her question everything. Also, as the saying goes, history has a way of repeating itself. And for J.Lo, the fairy tale she fought so hard to reclaim might be slipping through her fingers once again. Now let's not forget that Bennifer did not end in a single day, and it took some very uncomfortable instances to reach a point of no return. The cracks in Bennifer's fairy tale. At first, Bennifer 2.0 seemed like a fairy tale comeback. Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck had defied the odds, rekindling their romance nearly 2 decades after their infamous 2004 breakup. Fans celebrated their reunion, their lavish wedding, and their endless declarations of love. But behind the picture-perfect moments, Cracks were already beginning to show, and soon the world started to notice. One of the first signs that something was off came at the 2023 Grammys, when cameras caught Ben Affleck looking absolutely miserable next to Jennifer. As the night went on, J. Lo appeared animated, fully engaged in the event, while Ben sat beside her expressionless, exhausted, and visibly disinterested. At one point, the cameras caught what looked like an intense exchange between the couple, where J. Lo seemed to scold Ben, prompting him to straighten up and attempt a forced smile. But it was too late. The internet had already run wild with theories. "Why does Ben Affleck always look like he wants to escape?" became a viral joke. Memes flooded social media, and people couldn't help but compare his energy at the Grammys to his relaxed, comfortable demeanor whenever he was spotted with Jennifer Garner. Beyond the public appearances, insiders began leaking details about what was really going on behind closed doors. One of the biggest issues? Ben and J. Lo live completely different lifestyles. Jennifer Lopez is a perfectionist, a woman who thrives in the spotlight, loves grand gestures, and carefully curates her public image. She's always working, always pushing for more, and always making sure her brand remains flawless. Ben, on the other hand, is the total opposite. He prefers a laid-back, low-key life, away from the flashing lights and constant attention. According to sources, this fundamental difference became a major point of contention. J. Lo reportedly expected Ben to match her energy, be more involved in social events, put more effort into his public image, and embrace the Bennifer 2.0 branding that the world was obsessed with. But Ben, he was over it. He didn't want to perform for the cameras, and it showed. Besides this, if there's one thing that has reportedly driven J. Lo insane, it's Ben's ongoing connection to Jennifer Garner. From the very beginning, J. Lo knew that Ben and Garner shared a deep bond, not just as co-parents, but as people who had been through a lot together. But over time, that bond started to feel like a threat. Insiders claimed that Lopez hated how often Ben and Garner were in contact. It wasn't just about co-parenting. It was the fact that they still shared private jokes, supported each other in personal matters, and had an ease that J. Lo struggled to replicate with Ben. There were even rumors that J. Lo had set boundaries, telling Ben that while co-parenting was necessary, excessive communication with his ex was not. But no matter what she did, Ben and Garner's relationship remained solid. And with all these elements in play, the clashing lifestyles, the public scrutiny, and the constant presence of Jennifer Garner, it was only a matter of time before the cracks in Ben and J.Lo's marriage widened. Previous reports suggested that arguments between them had become more frequent, with sources claiming J. Lo felt like she was constantly competing with a ghost from Ben's past. The viral moments, the rumors, and the undeniable tension in their public interactions painted a clear picture. Bennifer 2.0 was struggling, and things were only about to get worse. J.Lo's silent struggle behind the scenes. When the pictures first surfaced, Jennifer Lopez's world came crashing down. She was used to headlines, used to speculation. But this was different. The images of Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner looking comfortable, too comfortable, in each other's company sent social media into a meltdown. But while the internet was busy analyzing every detail of those photos, what was J. Lo doing? How did she react when she first saw the pictures that had everyone whispering about a possible rekindling of Affleck's past romance? According to sources close to the situation, J.Lo's reaction wasn't just one of anger. It was a mix of emotions. On one hand, she was absolutely furious that these images had surfaced, making her look like the third wheel in her own marriage. On the other hand, she was hurt, feeling blindsided by the cozy display between Ben and his ex-wife. She wasn't expecting this, an insider claimed. Jennifer trusts Ben, but seeing those pictures, it stung. What really made things worse for her was the public's reaction. Fans flooded social media with comments speculating that Ben had never truly moved on from Jennifer Garner. Some claimed that he looked happier with her than he ever did with J. Lo, while others suggested that his current marriage was doomed from the start. For someone like Lopez, who has spent decades crafting her perfect Hollywood image, this was a public relations nightmare. The biggest question after the pictures went viral was whether J. Lo confronted Ben about them. And according to insiders, absolutely. Jennifer doesn't hold back, a source revealed. She's direct, and when something upsets her, she's not the type to sit quietly and pretend everything is fine. She immediately confronted Ben about what was really going on between him and Garner. Of course, Affleck has always insisted that he and Jennifer Garner are just co-parents and nothing more. But seeing their undeniable chemistry in those pictures made it hard for J. Lo to just take his word for it. At this point, Lopez had two choices: let her emotions take over and react publicly, giving the media even more to talk about, or play it smart and let her PR team handle it. If there's one thing J. Lo understands, it's damage control. Within days of the controversy, carefully worded statements from sources close to J. Lo started appearing in media outlets, downplaying the drama. These sources claimed that she was unbothered, that she trusted Ben, and that she knew his relationship with Garner was strictly about the kids. She's focused on her marriage and career, one statement read. Jennifer is too busy building her empire to be caught up in unnecessary drama. It sounded polished, almost too polished. Despite her team's efforts to control the narrative, people weren't buying it. Fans began noticing that J. Lo had gone noticeably quiet. No cryptic Instagram posts, no public displays of affection with Ben, and no grand gestures to shut down the rumors. Instead, paparazzi captured moments of tension between her and Affleck, with Lopez avoiding eye contact and Affleck looking exhausted. The once loving couple suddenly appeared miles apart emotionally. So, is Jennifer Lopez truly okay with all of this? Or is she just trying to hold things together for the cameras? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure, this love triangle isn't over yet. Ben Affleck's response and J. Lo. When the cozy pictures of Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner went viral, the internet wasted no time in crafting theories. Was this just an innocent moment between two exes co-parenting their children? Or was there something more? The world demanded answers, and eventually, Affleck had no choice but to address the situation. From the moment the images surfaced, Ben found himself in a difficult position. On one side was his ex-wife, the mother of his children, whom he has always spoken highly of. On the other was his current wife, Jennifer Lopez, who was reportedly blindsided and hurt by the public spectacle. To make matters worse, fans weren't helping. Social media flooded with comments like, "Ben looks happier with Garner," and J. Lo was just a rebound. These claims only added fuel to the fire, leaving Affleck scrambling to explain himself. So, what did he say? According to sources close to the actor, Ben immediately reassured J. Lo that the moment was completely innocent. He reportedly emphasized that his relationship with Jennifer Garner has always been about their kids and nothing more. There's no secret romance happening, an insider revealed. Ben is committed to his marriage with J. Lo and respects her feelings, but at the same time, he will never turn his back on Garner because of their history and their children. Still, Lopez wasn't exactly comforted by that explanation. While Ben's words might have sounded logical, the images told a different story. Body language experts even weighed in, claiming that Affleck's demeanor around Garner suggested deep comfort and familiarity. This made things even harder for J. Lo, who had already been struggling with how close Ben and his ex had remained over the years. And she wasn't the only one feeling uneasy. Jennifer Garner's longtime boyfriend, businessman John Miller, reportedly wasn't thrilled to see the viral photos either. According to insiders, while Miller has always trusted Garner's relationship with Ben, he wasn't happy about how the pictures made things look. In fact, it was even reported that Miller gave Garner a firm warning. He didn't want to see anything like that happen again. John knows there's nothing going on between Jen and Ben, but he felt the photos were disrespectful to their relationship. An insider shared, for him, it wasn't about jealousy, it was about boundaries. And now, he was reportedly making it clear that he wouldn't tolerate another public spectacle like this in the future. Then came the next question. Did Ben downplay the situation or get defensive? Reports suggest it was a little bit of both. At first, he tried to brush it off, claiming that the media was once again twisting an innocent moment into something scandalous. He reportedly told Lopez that she had nothing to worry about and that the whole situation was being blown out of proportion. But behind closed doors, things weren't that simple. Ben hates drama, a source said. The last thing he wants is a messy love triangle playing out in the media. His past interviews didn't exactly help his case either. Ben has always been open about his deep respect and care for Garner. In a 2021 interview, he even referred to their divorce as the biggest regret of his life. That statement alone resurfaced in the wake of the viral pictures, making Lopez feel even more uneasy. Did Affleck still carry feelings for his ex? Had he truly moved on? At the end of the day, Ben's defense didn't completely erase the doubts in J-Lo's mind. He may have had an explanation, but whether Lopez believed it or whether she could ever fully trust him again was another story. Similarly, despite all the social media frenzy, one thing was clear. People couldn't get enough of this drama. The internet's obsession with these three only fueled more speculation, making it nearly impossible for Lopez, Affleck, or Garner to escape the narrative. This isn't just about a few viral pictures. It's about trust, respect, and whether J.Lo can truly handle Ben's never-ending connection to Jennifer Garner. What's J.Lo's next move? According to sources close to Lopez, she was deeply hurt by the images. While she may put on a strong front for the cameras, behind the scenes, there are reportedly serious tensions. Lopez has been through high-profile splits before, and she's not the type to stay in a relationship that makes her feel insecure. J.Lo has been humiliated before, and she won't let it happen again, a source revealed. She values loyalty, and if she feels like Ben isn't 100% committed to her, she will leave. At the end of the day, Ben's defense didn't completely erase the doubts in J.Lo's mind. He may have had an explanation, but whether Lopez truly believed it or whether she could ever fully trust him again was another story. For Jennifer Lopez, this wasn't just another Hollywood breakup. It was a moment that forced her to confront her deepest fears. She had been here before, watching the public dissect her relationships, questioning whether she was too much or simply never enough for the men she loved. When she reunited with Ben after nearly 2 decades, she believed in a different ending, a love story rewritten with maturity and experience. But as much as she had fought to hold on, reality had a way of shaking even the strongest convictions. And now, the world was watching, waiting for her next move. But here's where things take a turn. Because Jennifer Lopez is no stranger to reinvention. Heartbreak has never been the thing that defines her. It has always been what fuels her. Through every public breakup, she has emerged stronger, more focused, and ready to reclaim her narrative. And while the world may speculate, J.Lo knows one thing for sure. She doesn't wait around for answers. She creates them. Interestingly, despite the rumors and media chaos, her dynamic with Jennifer Garner remained surprisingly steady. They weren't just two women entangled in the same complicated love story, they had built a connection beyond Affleck. Now, sources close to them have revealed that Lopez and Garner stayed in touch, often checking in about their children and maintaining a mutual respect that many exes could only hope for. So what does this all mean for Lopez's future? One thing is certain. She's not one to sit back and let the world write her story for her. Whether this chapter ends in reconciliation, reinvention, or an entirely new beginning, J.Lo has never been one to fade into the background. The real question now is, what's her next move? And if history tells us anything, It's that when Jennifer Lopez makes a move, the world pays attention. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you love deep dives into Hollywood's most fascinating stories, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's so much more to uncover.